Okay, it's been a little bit. Well, I want the camera focus. Look at me. Me. So, JD the Media Jack, and welcome to another live stream. Today we're going to be making this. This is a recipe for my grandmother's shortbread cookies. Earlier this year, I working very hard to try to recreate my grandmother's shortbread cookie recipe. She passed away many years ago, and with her went that recipe. Now, shortbread, it really is very simple. As you can see, the ingredients are flour, powdered sugar, vanilla extract, and butter, and that's it. But it's how you make it is what makes shortbread good. We're looking for something that is not too sweet, kind of melts in your mouth, and just really simple, but at the same time a treat. And it took me about 6 or 7 attempts to finally get close to where I think my grandmother's shortbread cookie recipe was, or is. And so this is what I came up with. Oh, you might notice this too. That is the Devil is Annoyed hoodie. That's mine, and you can get one for yourself. Merch is in the description below on YouTube, or you can go to themediajack.ca and you can check it out there. But anyway, Grandma's shortbread cookie recipe. So, flour, 2 cups, sifted, half a cup of powdered sugar, 1 teaspoon vanilla extract, and 1 cup soft butter. The stove preheated to 350 degrees and middle rack. So we'll do that now. Got the cookie sheet right there. So let's get started. I forgot my sieve. Okay, so now let's get started. You're gonna see everything happening right here. Adding to my sugar cookies is candied fruit. So I'm gonna be adding this to my sugar cookies recipe. But that comes after. That one's sealed. For some reason I thought I had one that wasn't. Hold on, let me look. Here we go. 2 cups flour, sifted. Let me know if the music's too loud or if it's too quiet. This is not meant to be an ASMR stream either, so let me know if things get a little annoying. So, 1 cup flour. We'll just sift that down. Two cups flour. And again, we'll just sift this down. And we're done with the flour. So I'll get this out of the way. Powdered sugar or icing sugar. Take your pick. So 1/2 cup icing sugar, powdered sugar. Sift this in as well. The reason for the sifting is to give the mixture some air, to make it light, not so dense. We want the cookie dough batter to be as light as possible. What the heck is that? Oh, that's from the no-bake liquor ball recipe from earlier. Oops. Okay, so I need another bowl. Because there's all my dry ingredients. Here's the wet ingredients. Butter. Soft. A stick of butter, a full stick of butter is 2 cups of butter. We only need 1. Don't worry, I'll take the wrapper off. If you have any questions or thoughts or anything of the sort, feel free to ask. I can see the chat. So, before we get into this, 1 teaspoon vanilla extract. Just like that. And now, we whip the butter. This is why it helps to have it be soft. Should have actually warmed up the bowl. Starting to get some movement in here. Microphone's just a little bit off here. We want it to be basically like a bit of a bubbly paste. I've tried doing this with completely melted butter, but completely melted butter is too warm and it'll start to cook the cookie dough too quickly. I've done this with stiff butter, and that is very difficult to work with. So you want soft butter, and you want it to be pretty close to this. Hey, Mel. Yes, more cookies. And this time I'm not struggling with a hand mixer or struggling to pretend like I'm a hand mixer. So. Can you hear me loud enough? Is the music too loud? So that looks pretty whipped. Pretty happy with that. So we're gonna mix the two together. Gradually. Because this will shoot up and make a mess. Thank you. Okay, there's our mixture. That goes into soapy water. And now we get into it. The other account, eh? Now it feels kind of flaky right now, but it will start to come together as a cookie dough. You don't want to overwork it too much. Also, like I said, I'm going to be adding this candied fruit to it. Should have opened that before. Ah! Got the 2-camera thing going. Ha. There we go. See the hoodie? So, the candied fruit. You can kind of eyeball this. Here's the candied fruit. I would say that's about 1/4 to 1/3 of what the fruit is in there. See, it's already starting to come together as a dough. Soon to be an next and not the next. So, we are going to use up the counter here. Now, I'll be honest, I haven't made this recipe in a couple of months, so I'm a little bit rusty. But, we're going to do this. So I need flour there. Just a base to work with. Not too much flour because we don't want to dry it out. And you don't want to overwork the dough. Now, like I said, it's been a bit, and this kind of looks a little dry, but we're going to work with it. I got my rolling pin here. Before, what I would do is I would actually roll this up into a tube and then freeze it. But tonight, we're going to actually, by working with it, use a cookie cutter right away. A little crumbly, but hey, we're learning, right? A little crumbly. Okay, get the rolling pin out of here.
Look at what you've done. Stand still, falling away from me. When it takes so long,
My hands.
fires out. What do you want to be? No holding on. Myself was never enough for me. Gotta be so strong. There's a power in what you do. Now every other day I'll be watching you.
Flour on my mouse.
I'll show you what it feels like. Now I'm on the outside.
Here's the cookie sheet. Alright, this is the cookie cutter that I have. It came with a set of other hearts. So, they're heart shaped. That turned out really well. Look at that. Look at that. Like I know what I'm freaking well doing here. Trying to.
than you. No holding on. My self-worth's never enough for me. Gotta be so strong. There's a power in
So the cookies are going to go into the oven for about a very short period of time, like 8 to 10 minutes.
show you what it feels like. Now I'm on the outside.
Such a simple recipe, but it can go sideways in a big hurry.
Show you what it feels like. Now I'm on the outside. We did
I'm a big fan of this cookie cutter. And just as I say that, let's go with the cookie. Pick that one up later.
when your eyes look through mine like windows.
You can give me this one. There you go.
Tell me where do you go? Feels like a million miles between you and I.
Nope, not gonna let me have that one.
Why? Since we stood on the same line, you're lying next to me, but we're dreaming different dreams. You're lying next to me, but all that I can feel is the
Utilize as much real estate as possible. There you go. See? Alright, let's try to retrieve these soldiers left behind. Come on. Whoa. There we go. Sorry, the cookie sheet's all the way over there. I apologize. I'll show you what the cookie sheet looks like in a sec here.
watching as our time slips through the hourglass. I want it back. You used to love me in the past.
Those are looking pretty damn good, honestly. Yeah, that one's a little worse for wear, but the other ones, my goodness.
But we're dreaming different dreams. You're lying next to me, but all
Nope.
that I can feel is the space between. Could you see? Could you see? Could you see?
It's pretty heavy.
Could you see?
Yeah, not a whole lot of flour on this thing.
Could you see?
Pretty heavy rolling pin. So I'm not putting a whole heck of a lot of pressure on it. Because again, you don't want to overwork the cookie dough too much. Or you don't want to overwork the cookie dough, period. Alright? My girlfriend's father has this really cool rolling pin. It has guides on it that you can put on that will basically adjust the height of whatever it is that you're rolling out, and it won't go too flat. So cool.
There was a girl in a dream. She was fabulous.
Okay, where am I going? Ah, there it is. I was like, where the hell did cookie cutter go? I'll put this here.
And must be patient with a box.
There we go.
She was fabulous. She touched me.
Should know, I don't know if you've noticed this, but cookie cutters do have sides. This top side here is rounded. That's so you can grip it. The other side is just flat, straight. And that's for cutting power. Sometimes they come to go. sometimes they stay put. Now, this was my best attempt at my grandmother's shortbread cookie dough recipe. She would make these every Christmas, and there would be, like, you know, the ice cream pails, like the gallon pails. All of her kids, so like my father and his sisters and brothers, they would get these ice cream pails full of these cookies every Christmas. It was always amazing. And she never baked with anyone. She did this on her own, which is why it was so difficult to try to figure out how she did it. So, those look pretty damn good. A few of them are a bit crumbly, but that's okay. We're learning, right? So, this is going to go into the oven for a very short period of time, like 8 to 10 minutes. And what we're looking for is the edges of the cookies to start to turn golden, just a little bit, just tiny bit, like cooked, not burnt, cooked. That's all it takes. Timer. We'll go 8 minutes. We'll see how that goes. In the meantime, there's a little bit of cookie dough left, so let's work with this. Just washing my hands. Kind of looks like a spooky mask or something, eh? Okay. Should dry my hands. My grandmother used to make these shortbread cookies. There would be candied fruit in them, and then there'd be another batch where there was no candied fruit, but it was just multicolored, and it was just basic food coloring. But she would make them in such a way that they would all. They would have these swirls in them, and it was. Needless to say, my grandmother was an expert at it. She'd done it for years. And they were always so good. When she passed away, everyone had the question of, like, how did she make those cookies? And it wasn't just cookies, she also made Christmas cake, which, like it or hate it, my grandmother's Christmas cake was always the best. And butter tarts. Oh my god, the butter tarts. Holy smokes. Her butter tarts. Just wow. They weren't big, they weren't thick, they weren't super sweet, but you could taste the brown sugar. There were some with raisins, there were some with nuts, there were some with neither. Oh, they were so good. I would have to sneak them away from my dad because my dad would eat them just as fast as me. And I did figure out how to make butter tarts, and I actually did make a batch of butter tarts earlier this year, and they worked out quite well. So, anyway, that's the recipe that you saw me use. 2 cups flour sifted, 1/2 cup powdered sugar or icing sugar, 1 teaspoon vanilla extract, and 1 cup butter soft. Not melting, because like I said, melting would actually start to cook the dough too fast. And not hard, like cold out of the fridge, because that is really hard to work with. Then you whip the butter. Now my butter could have been a little bit softer. But you whip the butter, and then you add the wet and the dry ingredients together. And you don't overwork the dough. If you overwork the dough, it'll dry out and it'll become crumbly regardless of what you do. And at that point in time, you're just basically making shortbread at a flat pan. I had a shortbread cookie dough fail before, and that's basically what it ended up being. So, as you can see, like, I haven't overworked this. I haven't worked this over too much, and it crumbles pretty darn quick, right? But shortbread cookies and the Christmas cake, fruit cake, whatever you want to call it, and the butter tarts, like, they were a part of my childhood and part of my family for years. And they stopped as soon as my grandmother passed away, which told me that she baked those by herself. She didn't show anyone, she didn't teach anyone, nothing. Earlier this year, I made 7 batches of these shortbread cookies. And each one was better. And it definitely takes practice. Because simple ingredients, right? Absolutely simple. But it's so simple, and yet you can mess it up in a big hurry. There was one batch where we used way too much powdered sugar. Whoa. Those were rough. Like, they would leave the stinging aftertaste in your mouth after you ate them. Hard to hear over the music sometimes. Sorry.
Is it right or wrong?
I can fix that.
Try to find a place we can all belong. Be as one.
There.
Try to get on by.
Anyway. Another batch is when I used melted butter, and it cooked the cookie dough way too quickly. And then another batch was just crumbly. Like, I overworked it, and I ended up making just shortbread in a pan, which was fine, but they were just basically like shortbread bars, and they were crumbly, and it wasn't the best. Then I tried making shortbread with the candied fruit, without the candied fruit, and it got pretty close. But it's been months. Like, I had to look back in my calendar, which is where I was writing this recipe. And April is the last time I made this. So, no browning as of yet. There's 2 minutes left. I like the short. Yeah, I know you did. They were good. Don't get me wrong, they were good. They just didn't come together like my grandmother made them, and that was the whole point, right? Is to make the same shape, same consistency, same flavor, same airiness that my grandmother made. And those weren't it. They were good. Don't get me wrong, they were good. They were good. So they're currently in the oven for 8 to 10 minutes at 350 degrees. I'm cooking it at 350 because my oven seems to bake a little hot. It's recommended 375. So we'll see how 350 goes. Oh, starting to get just the tiniest bit of browning. I promise I'll show you as soon as I pull them out of the oven here. In the meantime, what's left of the dough. Wow, that came together really well. Like really, really well. Alicia, if you're wondering, I'm using the cookie dough cutter because if you notice, like I'm making this fresh, so it's not in a tube in the freezer. Can I get another one out of this? There we go. They smell pretty close to what they should smell like. See if I could just get this to work in here. Wow. Yeah, just pat that down. Pat that cookie down. Look at that. Waste not, want not. There we go. Oh, it didn't hold together at the top. Oh well. Waste not, want not. Getting close. Getting very close. I'm just gonna put these on a small pan. So you bake them on parchment paper. And it is recommended that you store them in wax paper. And there's a conversation for them to be frozen before enjoyed. Because freezing them... Oh, no, you're not seeing anything. Freezing them apparently helps them to help bring the flavor out. Not bad, eh? I don't know how much of that is true. Excuse me, I just belched. I don't know how much of that is true. I do know that it happened a lot. Because these tubes of cookie dough would be in my grandmother's freezer. And I recognized them immediately because they were this color. With the candied fruit in it. Or they would be the swirly color cookies that I remember my grandmother making. Maybe I'll make those next time. Because definitely out of practice. Although these turned out pretty well. Like, look at that one there. That looks pretty darn good. Okay. These are ready to come out. So that. There we go. And I'll just stick these in right away. Timer for 9 minutes. So you can kind of see they're starting to cook around the edges, right? This is right around the time you want to pull these out of the oven. But you do not want them to sit on the tray too long because they will continue to bake. Cooling racks. So now we begin to transfer these to the cooling racks. These will burn very quickly. See if I can flip one over for you so you can see. That's perfect. Look at that. That is perfect. Sometimes it's better to bake at a lower temperature for longer than risk burning. Oh, look at that. That's perfect. That's like breakfast toast on a Sunday morning. Perfect. See, this one even though it was crumbly, it held together well. Why aren't you focusing? There. Damn thing. Oh, these are so good. These turned out so bloody well. I'm proud of myself. I'm proud of myself. Okay. Get this out of the way. Those turned out so bloody well. Like, so yeah, even though that one's crumbly, like it's a little bit fragile, it's held together. And the bottoms of these, like not a single scorch mark. Very hot to the touch though. Sorry, excuse me. I'm gonna go blow my nose. Excuse me. Oh boy. Perfectly golden. Exactly. Exactly. See this? I know the recipe's right there, but this hoodie, it's available. The devil is annoyed. That was inspired by me mishearing the lyrics to a Rob Zombie song for a very long time. Meet the Creeper. It opens up with like this old movie audio of some guy, and I thought he was saying the devil's annoyed. Turns out what he was saying was the devil is in all of us. And I looked, and there's nothing out there that says that phrase. So I had that art commissioned by commissioned a buddy of mine to make it, and it's now available in the merch. Again, on YouTube, you can have a look for yourself. And there's this shirt. Mel, I know that you have one of these. And there's the Iron Bikini. Iron Bikini merch is in there. There's Lost Signals. There's the fishing shirt that's in there as well. Have a look for yourself. Another 4 minutes and those ones will be done. The importance of having soapy water right there is unbelievable. Now, there wasn't a whole lot of ingredients in this, like, of course, but still, having a sink full of soapy water right there, stuff is already soaking, just makes cleanup that much easier. And, like, there wasn't much mess at all, right? And we used as much of the cookie dough as possible. We used all of it. All of it. So, if you have any questions, I'm so happy that I was able to get as close as possible to recreating my grandmother's cooking or shortbread cookie recipe. I know that I will get it to perfection with practice. This will be like, what, batch number 8? And there will be more. The butter tarts definitely is something I'm going to make in the near future and share with you, because those are really easy. I like my butter tarts with the raisins. Clean good. Yes, clean good. I like my butter tarts with raisins. You might like them without raisins. You might like them with walnuts. It's completely up to you. And, I don't know if I will ever get to a point where I can make Christmas cake, fruit cake, but the liquor balls that I made last time, so good. There's not many left. They were a hit at the family dinner. And I do feel confident that I can make the Christmas cake, the fruit cake. My grandmother would make 2 different types of the fruit cake. One type would be for the kids and the other type would be for the adults. And clearly the type for the adults was just soaked in rum or scotch or something. So maybe I'll get to a point where I'll make that as well. I think next time I'll make the other version of the colored version of the shortbread cookies, and then I'll make the butter tarts, and then maybe I'll tackle fruitcake. Well, these are pretty close to being good already. Oh yeah. Now again, you can see, sort of see a little bit of browning right there. That's near perfect. I'll lift these off and we'll take a look at how they actually look. Just gonna make some, preemptively making some room here. These ones are a little bit softer, but keep in mind this was what's left of the cookie dough, so it might be a little bit overworked. But we're going to flip one over just to see how it looks. So, focus. Manual focus. Tiny. I'll go to the other camera here. Whoop. Tiny bit of browning there. Let's flip it over and see how the other side looks. A little overcooked, just a tiny bit, but not too bad. Yeah, we'll just look at it here. Yeah, just a tiny bit overcooked, like another minute and we would have been in trouble. But compared to the other cookies, not bad. And like I said before, you want to take them off as soon as possible because they will continue to bake, right? And there we go. Grandma's shortbread cookies. Not necessarily how Grandma made them. Like I said before, Grandma would make the dough and then make it into a roll, wrap it in wax paper, and then freeze it for like weeks. Absolute weeks. And then after weeks would pull it out of the freezer, thaw it, and then bake them. And there would be these perfect little circles of shortbread cookies that would just melt in your mouth, and it was just amazing. These, I promise you, just by smelling them and looking at them and touching them, these are pretty damn close. And I'll be really happy with these. And I know, Alicia, you'll be really happy with these as well. And Soul, if you ever want shortbread cookies, just let me know. But I think next time what I'll do is I'll make the other version of shortbread cookies, the ones with the swirling colors, which all it takes is food coloring. And I don't have it here in my cupboard. I have it in my pantry. But all it takes is food coloring and just a couple of drops. My God, food coloring will stain everything if you use too much of it. But all it takes is just a little bit of food coloring. So next time it'll be the other version of shortbread cookies. And after that, we'll be thinking butter tarts. And then Christmas cake. Fruit cake. So, there's the recipe. 2 cups flour, sifted, just to make it so that the flour is less dense, so that the cookie dough is less dense. You get more oxygen into the recipe, into the cookie dough, so it's lighter. 1/2 cup powdered sugar, icing sugar. I sifted it as well because I figured why not. A teaspoon of vanilla extract and 1 cup butter. Soft. Not just room temperature, like I have it here. It has to be soft, but not melting, because melting will cook the dough too quickly and you will burn your cookies. And then I always want cookies. Soul, you have cookies anytime you want. I added the candied fruit to this stuff, and it was about like 1/4 to 1/3 of the container. Not too much that it was just riddled with it, but enough that it's definitely gonna be in each cookie. Whipped the butter with the vanilla extract in it, and then I combined it and I mixed it by hand. Don't overwork the dough. As soon as it starts coming together, that's when you want to start thinking about getting it ready for the cookie cutter, or do it the frozen way and roll it into a piece of wax paper and stick it in the freezer. But don't overwork the dough, because it will crumble immediately, and you will just be left with barely workable cookie dough. In the oven, in my oven was 350 for about 10 minutes, 8 to 10 minutes, but you want to be watching to make sure that it doesn't overcook. You want to see the edges of the cookies just start to brown. Because as soon as you see the edges of the cookies start to brown, you know that the surface underneath is browning already. Pull it out of the oven and put it onto a cooling rack as quickly and safely as possible. Don't burn your fingers. You're not in a massive rush, but you do want to remove it from the heat as quickly as possible. And then let them cool. I'll probably try one in just a little bit. Maybe I'll try one now. This one's cool enough. So this is from the first batch. As you can see, cooked quite well. Again, if you want to store these in a freezer, it's recommended that you use wax paper. Cover it in wax paper, put it in a sealed container, and then freeze them. So definitely light, fluffy, not too dense. That sweetness with the light sweetness with shortbread is definitely there. These came out really, really well. Once they're frozen, had time to cool off, and had time to mature, as I've seen some baking websites refer to it as, I'm sure that the flavors can become more outstanding. But honestly, like, this is the first time that I've baked these cookies fresh. First time ever. Other times I've frozen them first and then went back to them about a week later. These turned out really, really well. Oh yeah, these are really, really good. Anyway, Soul, Alicia, Mel, and anyone else watching, thank you for joining me. If you have any questions, concerns, comments, feel free to leave them in the description down below or in the comments down below. Don't forget about merch. This, that, available in the merch store, as well as Lost Signals, as well as the Iron Bikini. And yeah, there's got to be something there for you. It's not just shirts or hoodies or anything like that. There's a dog bandana. There's a couple of designs on that. There's mugs. There's sports bottles. There's so much. Have a look. At the very least, have a look at the website, at the merch at least, because just having a look at the merch actually does help. So, in the meantime, thanks for joining me, and I'll catch you next time. Take care.